what I loved about the story is through this whole marketing scheme, through, The Force Awakens and everyone wondering, like, who's who? What's going to happen? And the big question was, where's Luke? Where's Luke Skywalker? You understand what's going on in the universe and everything, but the main backbone of the story is, where is Luke? Everyone's wondering, where is this Master Jedi? He has disappeared, and everyone's looking for him. There is a reason why everyone's looking for him. So I felt an immediate connection with these characters because everyone in the audience I was sitting with is wondering, where the hell's Luke? And everyone on screen is wondering, where's Luke?
I mean, this is the movie that's the most speculation, the most rumors, true or false, come out about it, and the script and the story during production of it.
Yeah.
One of the big ones was that Luke is really Kylo Ren.
Right.
Everyone and that he became a Sith and all that. And I was so glad that the opening scroll just put that to bed right away. He's vanished. Speaking of Kylo Ren, the build up to the reveal that he's Han and Leia's son was so good. It's like, you don't let your family, don't let your personal connections get. I'm like, what's his personal connection? What's going on? Who is this dude?
Yeah.
How is he a Sith? Like, how does he have the Force? And then when you find out he's Han and Leia's son, it just adds so many layers to the story.
Like his grandfather is Darth Vader, that he takes so much pride in the dark side. Kylo Ren, let's just take some time for Kylo Ren in general right now. Just say that the opening scene, you see the power of Kylo Ren. You think he's this amazing, crazy Jedi dark side master when he stops the laser coming at him. What I like that they could have made Kylo Ren a one-dimensional character and made him just sort of not very deep and just sort of the villain of the thing, but he's not. There's some depth behind this guy. He is struggling and with the dark side, with being as good as he can in comparison to Darth Vader, and he's kind of a baby. He's kind of a dramatic guy. He hasn't harnessed patience. He hasn't harnessed his, really his anger.
To sum up Kylo Ren, he is powerful but undisciplined.
Yes. And, okay, this is the point I was going to make, is that I love that he, in all these other films, everyone's like, fight off the dark side. It's going to creep in. But the light is creeping into Kylo Ren. Yeah. He is fighting the light side. He wants to be the greatest Sith Lord ever. He's trying so hard that it doesn't seem that it's coming natural to him.
No.
At all. So he's always fighting this light side because that's creeping into him, obviously, through Leia's side of his genetics.
Right.
And just through all of that, or even Han's side, probably.
Speaking of Han Solo, when he died, and that's one of those rumors that I had read about. But I was hoping, not only with the opening scroll disputing the whole Darth Luke BS, I was hoping that was a load of crap. Maybe Han dying is a load of crap. And especially after watching him in this movie, like I said in the spoiler-free review, he's the best part of this movie.
Yeah, he is, and when he's gone and the small amount of time you see the film where he's not in it, like, you miss him. I'm like,
already.
I know, I'm like, I miss him already. Like, obviously, Chewie's reaction and how broken Chewie is from it happening. And Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die in Return of the Jedi.
Right, he wanted him to die in a Jedi.
So I was like, there might be some, foreshadowing to it actually happening, but I didn't think it was going to actually happen. It needs to happen. It's making me feel, it's making you care, and that's what this movie's supposed to do. It's pushing this plot forward, so I'm glad they did it.
Let's talk a little bit more about Rey.
Okay.
Now, we both loved her as a character. We both think that she's, perfect character, perfect casting to carry this new trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what did you feel about just, where you think she fits in all of this? Obviously, she has the Force.
She has the Force. I mean, she has the Force the strongest. She is the Force Awakening, I would say.
I would say so, too.
And she does have the Force. When it comes to it, it's hard to say where she fits. It's almost, everyone's like, oh, she's the next Luke. I'm like, but she's not. She's a pilot. She's
the captain of the Falcon now.
She's now Chewie's sidekick. There was a very father-daughter type of relationship between Han and her, and I'm wondering if they're going to go with Kylo Ren and her are brother and sister. I don't know anything like that, but a lot of people are speculating that they are, or they're related in somehow.
I want to throw out some speculation about Rey.
Sure.
I totally think that she's Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Really?
Yeah. Like I said, I've seen it 4 times. So I've had plenty of times to rewatch, pay attention to the details. And, like, for instance, in her little bungalow in the fallen AT-AT, she has, like, a little handmade doll of a rebel starfighter. And, like, that clues me to think, like, maybe that's the last thing she remembers seeing Luke in before he left her. Okay. She has the rebel helmet.
Yep. Okay.
And I went back and checked.
Yeah?
Because I had to know. It's the same serial number on the side of the helmet as Luke's when he does the trench run, the original.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then the final, this literally took me the 3rd time to finally clue into, like, oh my god. But when Kylo Ren is torturing Rey, and he's reading her mind, and he says, you see an ocean, and an island, and Han Solo. He's the father that you never had. But at the end of the movie, she goes to an ocean planet. There's an island, and there's Luke.
There's so many people that are still like, he's a Sith Lord, he's a Sith Lord. I'm like, you know what? I don't think he is.
No.
He is chilling, and he does not look Sith at all. I think that he looks, I don't know, a little broken, a little humble, a little...
Right. I feel like he's kind of almost in the same position Yoda was in when Luke went to Dagobah for his training.
Yeah.
Like, he's just been so far removed from it.
But he also has failed in rekindling the Jedis.
That's true.
So I feel like he is a little bit feeling like a little let down of what he's done. So I feel like he's taking his time.
Yeah, the holding it back to the end, I really did like it. Especially considering, like you said, the hype to the build-up of this movie. Yeah. Where's Luke? Where's Luke? And then he's not there until the last scene of the movie. I thought that was great. At the same time, I just want more Luke. I love Luke Skywalker. He's one of my favorite characters. He's the ultimate hero.
Yep, definitely. I love that they cast like all sorts of different ethnicities through these characters.
Yeah, John Boyega, you know, he was the other lead in this, Finn. And I thought his character and his story was really great.
Yeah, I like the perspective of a stormtrooper, of someone that is, like you said, feeling the weight of how awful this is, how awful these people are and who he's working for, and his conscience getting in the way where he's just like, I can't do this anymore. And even the opening scene, I mean, we can go more into J.J. Abrams' style or his directing choice or even the story choices, but all these stormtroopers look alike. And one of the scenes that really stood out to me is the person that he goes up to a guy that's dying and he puts his hand on his mask and you see the blood wipe down on the front of his mask, and now... you know who Finn is. You know who Finn is, and even with the mask on, the guy with the blood streak, you care about that one.
Right.
I love how they all looked, and those visual cues are just littered throughout this. When Han is face to face with Kylo Ren, and he's saying, like, you don't have to be like this, you can come with me. If you look at the visual side, Kylo Ren's face is half blue and half red. It's like
the light and the dark.
The light and the dark is right there in his face. It's so blatant, but it's also really cool how they do these visual styles.
I think the best thing about J.J. Abrams' films as a whole, at least up to this point, they're well paced.
I agree, and I think that also his action isn't incomprehensible. You can see the action. It's not this crazy, shaky, all over the place. You always stay with the action. Even the dogfights are very smooth and very well shot. And, you understand the action. And this is a perfect balance for the action scene of like just going lightly into the lightsaber fight scenes. I loved how these aren't Master Jedis fighting together.
No.
Like, these aren't people that know how to wield a lightsaber that well. So these are gritty, not slow pace. We're not talking like the original Star Wars slow pace between Vader and Obi-Wan, but we're also not talking about the Darth Maul lightsaber from... It's like somewhere in between.
Right, like how we said in the review, it's a perfect blend of the old and the new.
Yeah, like...
And I love how I feel like in the prequels, the lightsaber battles were just like overly choreographed. It was like this spectacle.
But the Jedi's were at their peak.
Right, but that's true. And then the originals, it's like, because when in the originals there's 3 lightsaber fights. All of them had emotional weight to them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what this one brought back. Like, if the saber fight between Kylo Ren and Finn and then Kylo Ren and Rey happened before Han died, it wouldn't have been as much. I didn't want to give any of this away in the spoiler-free review. My 2 minor problems with it, but at the same time, this is stuff that can be explained in the next 2 movies.
Yeah.
One was, I was a little unclear as to when Rey actually knew she had the Force. Because, like, at first, you feel like she knew after Kylo Ren was trying to read her mind, then she realized she could read his mind.
Yeah.
And then she pulls the
mind trick on the guard.
On the guard, who is rumored to be James Bond, or Daniel Craig. Well, some people say it isn't. Yeah, some people say it is. I really hope it is.
Yeah.
But then later when she's battling Kylo Ren in the lightsaber duel, he says, I can teach you, I can show you the ways of the Force. And then she makes that face like the Force. And then she gets real serene, like Maz Kanata told her, like, just let the Force in.
Yeah.
And then she gets better at the saber battle and everything like that. It's like, okay, so now is that when she realized she had the Force? Because she used the Jedi mind trick earlier. But then again, that's something that can be explained
exactly
in the next coming movies. And another big problem people had, like, she learned the Jedi mind trick in like 5 minutes. But then again, that's something that can be explained in the movie, because up to this point, every Jedi we've seen has been the product of a Force user and a non-Force user. Who knows? Maybe Rey's mom, if Luke is her father, maybe she's a Force user, and 2
the
Jedis.
combinations makes her that powerful.
Right, and my other small problem, once again, could be explained in the sequels, was that nothing really triggered R2-D2 starting back up again. Like, what, Starkiller Base was destroyed? How do you know about that? What, Han Solo died? Like, why do you have to wait till Han died to fire back up?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the reason. Do you
think
once
BB-8
Han
had
died,
something to do with it?
Well, I do and I don't, because BB-8's the one who unveiled him, and then C-3PO goes up and tells him what's happened to him ever since Luke disappeared.
Right.
So I would like to think it's the presence of BB-8, but BB-8 was there before when he wasn't working, and then he just fires up out of nowhere. But once again, these my only 2 very small problems with this movie. They could be explained in the sequels.
There was one small problem, which, I felt like the Force was a little bit unclear, like you said, sort of how, she's so good at wielding it, or how it's sort of like, but like you said, that's explainable. Even you saying that right now sort of sways me a little bit from thinking that's not so much of a gripe. It's something I just have to be patient about.
It's an unanswered question.
It's an unanswered question. I didn't really like that Snoke was CGI. I didn't like that he made him this huge, towering hologram and that he was CGI. I thought it was unnecessary. I thought he was a cool character. I liked the way he spoke. I liked the way he conveyed himself. But also I was like, it almost felt like it was dipping a little bit of a toe into the prequels of CGI, of special effects. Of like, they could have had a different villain, even a man, very much like the Emperor, to play this role. But instead it's this giant, like, looming alien. And why is he projected so big? To make himself
I think it was to, just make himself seem more dominating over his subordinates.
Sure, but Snoke was not my favorite. And I like the guy that plays him, I do, but he wasn't my favorite of them. And like we said, there's very limited CGI characters. I liked
Maz Kanata.
Yeah, I like Maz Kanata. She was one of my favorites. I thought she was so charming, such a cool character, and even like her CGI was completely believable. And I was fine with it. But Snoke, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
The CGI isn't bad, but it's like, it's stuff that you look at and like, they could have done prosthetics and everything and made Andy Serkis look like that. And that's another thing. It's like, I love Andy Serkis, but I would just love to see him do some non-performance capture roles.
I agree.
I would just love to see him be him.
Yeah.
As far as physically. Overall, we both really enjoyed this movie, and glad that we got to really hash out the details. Been waiting to talk to you about all this.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, thank you guys so much for checking out our reviews this year. We really appreciate all of your support.
Yeah, definitely.
So
just getting started, but it's been fantastic doing this and just bouncing ideas off each other and with you guys, and it's we appreciate all the support, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Once again, comments below. Tell us everything you thought about The Force Awakens and what you want to see and what your favorite parts were, what your gripes were. Just give us all the information you got.
Nerd out, guys.
Yeah, nerd out for sure. And it's been a good year.
Yep, really looking forward to 2016. We hope you guys are too, because we're going to be coming back at you with our review of Quentin Tarantino's new movie, The Hateful Eight.
Looking forward to that one too.
And we'll also be giving you our top 5 most anticipated movies of 2016.
All right, so we'll see you next year.
See ya.